chargers. Love them or hate them, they're an essential part of our everyday lives. And without them, we wouldn't be able to waste our lives away doom scrolling on TikTok or whatever app. Kind of like what you're doing right now. But you ever have that one charger that just like stopped working out of nowhere? Like the one where it's like, you kind of have to like bend it like you're doing Pilates or something just to make it work for 2 seconds. Well, you ain't gotta deal with that no more. Cause I'm gonna show you how to make your own DIY charger for less than 15 bills.
Oh my God! Wow!
Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, yo, B, I could just buy a charger, right? And my answer to that is
boring.
That's boring. If you want to be an engineer, you gotta be able to know how to build something, right? And no one's really gonna prompt you to do so. But this is a good place to start, especially if you're a beginner. So I'm giving you a chance right now to do something easy. Now, I got the inspiration to make this video by a YouTuber known as Jlaser. If you don't know who that is, familiarize yourself, cause you don't know ball. But if you go on his channel, this was one of his first videos, and I just wanted to do the same. Now, for what we're gonna need, you'll need a car USB charger, kind of like this one. Estimated cost about $5. A 9-volt battery, like this one. Estimated cost $3. And some 9-volt battery connectors, like these. Estimated price $2. Now, additionally, assuming you already have some of this stuff lying around, you're also gonna need some duct tape, a knife, or maybe some scissors might cut it, and some pliers. If you don't already have most of these things, you can get the first 3 things I said on Amazon for like 10 bills. Better than spending $40 on a portable charger that you're gonna forget to charge the night before you go on a long trip. But now that we got the materials we need, it's time for the assembly. I decided to move the location so I could better demonstrate how to actually do this. Step 1, we're gonna start off by prying open the car charger. You can use a knife like this. For the sake of the video, I kind of already like opened it a little bit so I'd save some time. And inside, you'll see we got 2 terminals, one negative and one positive. And some car chargers have an indicator light, kind of like this one, if you can see, which we'll use to help do some testing later. Next step is to clip this cord, give it some space, say right about here. And on the iPhone end, we also want to give it a little clip as well. And once we have both ends, you want to strip away the rubber tubing so we can expose the wires. Now that we got that out of the way, you'll notice that this one in particular has 4 different wires. Now this is a case-by-case situation. Some may have 4, some may have 3, some may have 2. But the only ones you really want to pay attention to are the red and the black one. If you can see that. But once you isolated those 2, the next step is to strip down the insulation of the black and red wires so it shows the actual coils. As you can see, on both wires are now stripped down. Like I said before, you can ignore the green and the white wires. These are more for like transfer and have nothing to do with actual charging. Same with this one right here. Strip down. And now you want to connect the 2 by coiling each wire to their respective colors. The red to the red, black to the black.
That's the whole point.
And just like that, the 2 wires are connected. Now I want to make something clear. You do not want these to touch because it will short circuit. So a way to combat that is to tape them up. Notice how I have the green and the white wires taped up because they were getting in the way. You could just do the same thing and it'll be smooth. Once we tape them up, it should look something like this. Not the prettiest thing, but that don't really matter. Now for the next step, you want to prepare the 9-volt battery connector and connect it with the 9-volt battery itself. As you can see, the way it fits is like so. And just like that, it's connected. Now, this next step is very important. Once you have the setup for the battery connector and the actual battery, remember earlier I had said something about a light being useful in the testing. So we want to figure out which terminal is the positive and which one's the negative. Now, the reason why the light is helpful, because as you can see, if I put the positive side on the coil and the negative side on this terminal right here, you see it lights up. So that means this is where we're gonna be connecting them. So once we figured out which terminal to put each wire at, we want to tape them up respectively, because again, put them together, it will short circuit. Alright, now we got the wires connecting, and as you can see, the light indicator is on. That means everything is connected and power is transferring. One thing I will say, this is something that definitely takes a lot of patience, because trying to get these terminals connected took me 20 minutes. When it comes to connectivity, you have to have everything in place exactly how it's supposed to be, or else it just won't work. Right? Now, I could try to make this look pretty, but I don't really have time for all that. So I think I'm gonna just leave it how it is and try to see if it's gonna work or not. One thing to add though, for those who are a little bit more experienced, since this is gonna be on the whole entire time, if you wanna turn it off, you could add a switch, but this is a beginner friendly video and we're not doing that. Now, an alternative to using a switch is simply taking apart the battery, like so, and now there's no connectivity. And then once you want to turn it right back on, just like that, we have ourselves a portable charger. Now let's see if it works. All right, I'm back in my room. I got the charger right here. Again, make sure your light indicator is on, signaling that it is connected and fully working. And we're going to be using my iPhone 13 to test to see if it works. And it doesn't work.
No! God, please, no! No!
As you can see here, light is on, but phone is not charging. Let's see if y'all can see it a little bit better. Yep, not charging. Now, before y'all get too mad, don't act like y'all was about to try this anyway. Remember, I modeled this video after Jlaser's video that he made over 12 years ago. If you don't know what I'm getting at, 12 years ago, the iPhone 4 was out. So realistically, this wouldn't be able to charge nothing better than an iPhone 5 because it's just not efficient. You might be wondering why, and there's a simple answer to that. If you remember, I said that I use a 9-volt battery to power my charger, right? A standard 9-volt battery holds about 300 to 600 milliampere per hour of energy.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry.
In comparison, the average iPhone charger nowadays holds probably 2,000 to 3,000 milliamperes per hour. So realistically, you're starting with about 15 to 20% of the actual needed power. It's like trying to fill up a pool with a teacup. Imagine that. Now, not only does it have low capacity, it's also the wrong voltage. Remember, I said I'm using a 9-volt battery. Most iPhones need 5 volts to charge, and a 9-volt battery provides, well, 9 volts. Now, you might be thinking, oh, the number is higher, so it must have enough energy. That's not really how it works. So you need to step down the voltage from 9 volts to 5 volts using a voltage regulator, which is usually built in a car charger. But in the process of doing that, you kind of lose energy. An iPhone typically wants to charge at 1 ampere or more, and a 9-volt battery can only really produce about 0.3 to 0.5 amperes. So if you try to pull more current, it's just going to drain the battery and it's not going to end up charging at all. And even if it did start charging, it would probably stop halfway. Believe it or not, it actually did charge my phone for like half a second. I just wasn't able to catch it on camera. But that just goes to show how inefficient these actually are. Again, you still see the blue light indicator saying that it's supposed to be working, but the iPhone 13 is just not going to cut it. Because the iPhone 13 doesn't need just power, it also has a smart system for charging. And what I mean by that is the charger needs to send specific signals on the data line, like those green and white wires you saw earlier, to tell the iPhone that it's safe to charge. So like I said, not gonna cut it with the iPhone 13. Now, you ain't gotta worry, there are efficient ways to actually make a portable charger. This was tier 1, 9-volt battery, not very efficient. There's a tier 2 and a tier 3. Now, if you want to see me make tier 2, get this video to 40 likes, I got y'all. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. This is my 3rd video done now. I had a lot of fun with this one. Took some time, energy. All in all, it was a good experience. Like I said, don't be too disappointed with me because I know y'all was expecting to see something that would work, and this is just not good for that. If you want to see something that will work, get this video to 40 likes, like I said, and I got y'all. Like, subscribe, share with your peoples, and until next time, I hope y'all stay tuned in. Let me know whatever feedback y'all got for me, and I'm gonna catch y'all later. Don't act like you was about to try this anyway.